Hello friends, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox, and today I'm posting for the Funky Junkie using distress paints. So I decided to kind of experiment with my Gelli Plate and distress paints to see how well they would work to make these backgrounds. So again, here's my Gelli Plate. I'm just laying it out on my craft mat, and this is THS 182, one of his new stencils. So I'm using picked raspberry and wilted violet distress paints on the Gelli Plate. So again, I put them on there, and then I grabbed my brayer and just kind of worked them around here. I had to wipe the purple off. I probably should have started with the pink first, but again, lessons learned. So I went ahead and, got it all smoothed out there. And you can see my paints are kind of mixing, but that's okay. So then I put the stencil on there and then grabbed a piece of Cougar white cardstock and pulled a print of the stencil, and you can see it worked really well. So then I pulled the stencil off and added just a sheet of white cardstock there and pulled a second print. And you can see there that the paint, kind of has a texture to it because, again, it kind of wicked on the Gelli Plate. Again, a warning, you need to go ahead and wipe your stencil and your brayer and your Gelli Plate off as soon as possible, just so that the paint doesn't dry on them. So again, I'm just kind of trimming down those two backgrounds to be A2 card size. And so one of them is a smaller panel. It's like 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And the other one is about, I would say, 4 by 5 1/4. So the next thing I'm doing is I grab my archival ink. This is black soot archival ink, and I'm using the Curiosity Shop stamp. This is CMS 482, one of my new favorites that Tim put out here recently. So again, I did 2 sets of the typewriter. And then I went ahead and pulled a sentiment, thinking of you, from that same stamp set. So I thought I'd put it that portrait way, but then decided no, landscape is the way I needed to go. And all I did was I just stamped 2 more of those. I did use the Simon Says Stamps coordinating die that matches the set. It just makes it so much easier to die cut all the pieces out. So this is Halloween collage paper. When I lined the painted pieces up against the white cardstock, I needed something in that background. So I went ahead and used double-sided adhesive tape and attached the Halloween paper there. And then I went ahead and pulled my guillotine trimmer. Again, this is my most frequent used trimmer in my collection. I have several different ones. This is the one sits on my desk, and this is the one that I reach for most often. So again, I've got those 2 pieces of the Halloween paper there, and then we'll go ahead and line the painted pieces up on the front, and went ahead and just attached them using my my tape runner. So that's what I'm doing here. So after I got them attached, I decided I wasn't really happy with that stark white against kind of that cream color background. Again, it's all white cardstock, but because the collage paper has a little bit of a tint to it, I needed to do something. So antique linen distress ink to the rescue. So again, I'm just using one of my blending tools and just blending that ink over the top to kind of soften it quite a bit. And then, of course, because the typewriter and the letter is also printed on white cardstock, I'm gonna have to get that with the ink too. So you'll see me do that here in a few minutes. So again, just kind of softening it up. And there I pulled the letter out. The letters, I guess I should say, and the typewriter. I decided to, again, just add a little bit of the antique linen distress ink there. I wanted it to be a little bit softer rather than that stark white. So again, I'm really pleased with the way all my pieces' parts are coming out here. Too much fun. So again, I pulled out my edger type thing. This is an old Tim Holtz tool. I've had this thing for years. But again, it just kind of roughs the edges up, and then that way I could, put a little tear in them, kind of crinkle the crinkle the letters up so that they looked a little bit more aged. So there is the base parts there. So here I went ahead and glued the letter in kind of at an angle. And we'll kind of play with the placement of these things. So the next thing I did was I pulled out Tim's new cello tape. I love this stuff. This is so cool. It looks like antique tape pieces. So I added a couple pieces to each front. And you can see there I have foam pop-up dots on the back of both the typewriters, and I'm just kind of arranging them on here. I just really happy with the way these two cards came out. So again, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Blogger, and YouTube. I'd love to count you as one of my subbies on YouTube. Have a great day.